travelers, my name is CarryonPilkington, and today I'm going to be talking about the top 10 places I'd like to visit before I die. Now, I did a post on this on my Weebly site, which will be linked somewhere on the channel and probably in the description below, and I'd like to kind of elaborate more on it and talk in more extensive terms about why I chose the top 10 that I did. Originally, this list was a top 20, and so some of these places are kind of like bracketed, so it's like this place bracket this, because I know that if I went on a trip to one of these places, I'd probably go on a round trip to more than one, because while you're there, you might as well, right? I'm really excited in my lifetime to be able to visit all 5 continents, so that also played a factor into this top 10. I made sure that at least one country from every continent, except maybe not Antarctica. I'm not sure if I could deal with that. I'm barely able to handle the cold weather we get here in Canada, so in the traditional stylings of top 10 lists, I'm going to list them backwards because that's how you do it, not how I did it in the post where I listed it from 1 to 10, but you know what, it's how it is, you know? So the first, I guess number 10, is Russia / the Ukraine. And I'd like to go to Russia just because Russia is such a place of beautiful culture, and it is like the biggest country in the world. It's a lot of my favorite movies are there, which is sometimes actually a huge factor on whether I want to go somewhere. Is if I watch a movie and I'm like, wow, look at that, like even like the stock shots, like it's like, wow, that is a beautiful place. Going to Moscow would be beautiful. And then also I put the Ukraine in there because my grandmother and her whole family from that side actually came to Canada from the Ukraine, so I have a lot of Ukrainian heritage within my life. We do like pierogies and mostly food stuff. We do like pierogies and like Ukrainian Thanksgiving, and my mom still really like holds on to those beliefs and stuff like that. So visiting where my family came from would be interesting. I don't know as much about that as I wish I did. I'd probably have to look into it a bit more. That's why this is number 10, because A, I need to do a lot more research before I do this, and B, I'm not sure with the like sort of the way that the social and economic standings of the world are going that I might ever go there. It might be decades or maybe years, but at this point in my life, I am not ready to go there, and I don't think Russia is ready for me to go there either. So that's number 10. Number 9 is Thailand / India. These two I don't know if I'd actually do in one trip, but I didn't want to get rid of either of them. I feel like I'd probably go to one or the other, like as a standard, but when I was narrowing down from the top 20 list, I was like, I can't get rid of India or Thailand. I would be very upset if they weren't on this list. So this one is actually brackets or India instead of like a / or an and. Thailand, my sister went there and she told me all about the beautiful culture there and the beautiful sights and everything. I'd love to adventure that because it's just an entirely different like just mindset and everything. And then India is the same way, completely different culture, mindset, and it is, I think right now it has the biggest population in the world, so that'd be interesting to look at. I don't have much experience with the culture, and it would be nice to just immerse myself in something so abstractly different that I might come out a new person. Number 8 is Morocco, and Morocco's a place that my sister actually was just like, hey, we should go to Morocco, like at some point, and I don't know why, but it's always stuck with me. On the Lonely Planet, it listed as the gateway to Africa, and I'm not really sure why Morocco, out of all African countries, stands out to me, but when looking further into it, it just confirms how much I would like to go there. But again, a lot of this is a lot of cultural stuff. I like the idea of opening my mindset and experiencing new cultures. I also hear food is really cool there. And again, it's a place that is just so different from where I've been and where I live in, that I hope that it would be just a life-changing experience. So number 8 is Morocco. Number 7 is Chile, and then it's another one of those or Peru moments where it's like, I had both these on my top 20 list, but I was like, I can't get rid of either of these. And it's possible that I would do these in one trip, depending. I'm not as knowledgeable about South American like costs and stuff like that. I have to look into that more. But these are two places. I'd love to go to Chile first and foremost, because when I was learning Spanish in high school, my professor was from Chile, and he would just always be like, "Oh, Chile is so beautiful," and I don't know, it kind of stuck with me. I've always wanted to go because of his guidance and knowledge, and he immersed us in a lot of like the Chilean accents and specific culture. So I feel like that'd be an interesting thing to now go experience it after I learned so extensively about it in my high school classes. And then Peru, sadly enough, it's because I watched Series of Unfortunate Events as a child, and I also read all the books growing up, and so Peru was always this like mystical place where the reptiles were going, and then more recently, right before I wrote this list, the Series of Unfortunate Events on Netflix came out, and it just was like, yeah, Peru sounds great. And again, it's another place where it's like, I don't know and why, but I want to go. I think that's a great thing about traveling. You don't have to like write an essay, be like, I'd like to go to Peru because, and here's my topic sentence. It's like, no, I'd like to go to Peru when I have the notion where I'm like, I'm going to go to Peru in the next year or so. I'm going to look more into it. And hopefully when I go in these places, I'm going to download one of those, I think it's Duolingo. There's certain apps you can download where reteach you language or teach you language. One of my coworkers learning Croatian. I'm going to learn Spanish again. So hopefully I can go there and just rekindle my Spanish language. Number 6 is Greenland and Iceland. So another one where top 20 couldn't decide, put them together. So if I went to Greenland, I'd go to Iceland. They're in the same hemisphere, they're the same area. Like, I'm pretty sure that you could probably get a decently cheap flight from one to the other. Greenland's a place I've always wanted to go because it's kind of like upper, not Canada. It's very close. I'm assuming that it has similar climates. I've heard so much about it, and like, I know the history of Vikings and stuff was just so interesting sounding, and like, I don't know, the smaller populations and the outdoors, and it just sounds like it'd be a cool place to visit. And then also Iceland, I know I'm going to end up going to at some point in my life, because every connecting flight you get from here to Europe or here to anywhere in that like European, Middle Eastern area always is like, would you like to stop in Reykjavik? And I've never taken advantage of that, because usually before I click yes on that, I find a better deal somehow through like Flight Hub or something. But I would really like to go to Reykjavik for a day or so. So maybe one day I'll take that layover from 7 hours and extend it to like a week or so, and I'll explore some of these places. So number 6 is Greenland and Iceland. Seven is Poland and maybe Austria. Two places that I'd like to visit, because when I went on my trip to Germany, they were very close, but we didn't actually plan on going there, which was sad. We got there and we were like, why didn't we plan to like take a train to Poland and like spend like a couple days there, or like Austria? So that kind of came from there. So like now it's in my brain where I'm like, God, I should have gone to Poland while I was over there. So Poland and Austria. Cool history. I'm kind of a World War II buff, not in the way that like, if you're like, when was this specific battle, I'll know the answer, but I love learning about it. I love reading books about it. My dad was also a buff, actually a buff, like he knows information, so I kind of grew up in that culture of like, sort of interesting to learn about, and I've always been a firm believer that if you learn from the mistakes of the past, you don't make the same mistakes in the future, so learning about it is very important to me. Greece is just, God, it's just the place. Like every person I've ever met who's gone to travel to Europe has gone to Greece, and I just never made it. And it's beautiful, drinks, food, culture, God, beaches, Greece. I honestly would love to just go to Greece, and I even wrote in the article that I wrote, Greece, be prepared for me in 2020. So that's actually higher up on the list in like the fact that I'd like to go. I honestly really want to go to Hong Kong. I want to experience the culture of just like what I've heard is such a chaotic, like a beautiful chaotic country. and it's, again, very distinct and different than any of the other cultures, and I'd love to experience it. So the Philippines is a place that I've always wanted to go because I grew up with Filipino nannies. I grew up with Filipino nannies because my mom kind of helped sponsor like an entire family to come over, because she met a coworker whose family wanted to come, and she was like, hey, as a citizen, you should help them come over. So when they would come here, my mom would hire them for a bit until they could essentially get another job, so they'd work as a nanny. So I was raised by a bunch of different nannies, the most notable one being my nanny Doreen, who raised me for a couple years while my parents were working to support 6 kids. And so the whole culture, I used to know a bit of Tagalog. I love the food, and I have a love of karaoke, which sounds so stereotypical, but it's a real thing. Every family gathering we went to, I was just the little girl who kind of stood out, but we just used to kind of eat food and a lot of family togetherness and karaoke. Lots of karaoke. So I'd love to go to the Philippines someday and experience it, even though the heat might kill me, I've been told, but I'm excited to do it anyways. Sweden, Finland, and Norway, because I know I'd do them all in one shot. I've been to Holland and all that, so I've been very close in that area. I've been to a lot of other places in Europe. Just again, like Greece, I've never made it to Sweden and Finland and Norway. And my sister is now pushing for that because that's where she wants to go next. So I put it up here because not only is the whole like liberal outlook and just all the beautiful things you hear about Sweden and the just the landscape and the architecture, it's all very interesting to me. And so when she pushes it forward, I know that I'm going to be going to this place or these places very soon. Australia and New Zealand, because that was actually a trip I was going to take this summer, but kind of got postponed because of reasons. I have friends down there, and you know, it's the upside down Canada. It's going to be a place that's not only opposite in seasons, but kind of probably a home away from home. Like I'm probably going to go there and not feel as out of place. Every Australian person I've ever met is always so kind and generous and like so, I don't know, just so fun to be around. And so I'm interested to go just like meet a bunch of people and do what the Australians do. Maybe pet a kangaroo. Who knows? Maybe. And then our number one, our top spot, the place that I'm going to next. Drum roll, please. Japan. Number one is Japan. It's the place I've wanted to go since I was younger, and I'm finally getting that opportunity because I've always waited for some people who would like to go with me. I don't want to go to a place and find that I'm uncomfortable or I feel unsafe. So going in a group to a place so far away is my ideal setup. And I finally found a group. I think there's like 6 of us that all want to go and all do separate things, but we'll stay in the same place, check in with each other, and I think that that'll make it a more fulfilling experience where I won't be afraid to do certain things because, unfortunately, in the way of society, not safe for a single female to go do certain things. So it's nice to have a couple guys on the trip, have another couple girls, so that we can we can do our own thing and not have to worry about it too much. So Japan, I love you. The culture, the sights, just everything about it. I love Japan, and hopefully going to Tokyo would be the most interesting part about it. I'm really into that. Thank you for sitting through my top 10 or sort of 15, 20 places I'd like to go before I die. What are your top 10? Did I miss any? Are there any places that I've never thought of before and you're like, no, you should go here? Like, screw Japan, you should go here next. Let me know in the comments below. But thank you so much for joining us. Hope you enjoyed your stay, and we'll be seeing you soon. Bye!
While it is true that nighttime devours the day, it is doubly true that every morning the sun returns to frighten away the cowardly.